right, ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing with our media availabilities for today with Dale Earnhardt Jr., driver of the number 88 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. Before we open it up for questions, Dale, through your Driven to Give program in partnership with Nationwide Children's Hospital, you've got a special program going on this weekend with your patient champion. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have Aiden on the 8-year-old Aiden on the passenger side of the car. He's going to be our champion child this race weekend that we're celebrating, and obviously we're trying to raise money to fight autism this month with the Driven to Give gloves. We did the glove giveaways or auctions throughout the season last year with a lot of success. We wanted to tweak that program a little bit this year to try to raise even more funds, and so we've been wearing these blue gloves all month, and at the end of the month we're going to auction them off and raise money for the Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio. I've had a chance to go up there and take a tour. We'll be going again this year. It's an amazing place, doing a lot of great things. They've improved and learned so much over the last couple of decades to be able to make such a huge difference in the lives of these children that they're treating. So it's awesome to be a part of that and be able to help. And that's how we're doing it this year. I think we're going to have 4 months that we focus on this year, where we'll wear different colored gloves and have a champion child that we'll have on the car at some of those events throughout the year, raising money for different causes, different illnesses. And so we're excited. We've been wearing these blue gloves for a few races now, so I'm looking forward to auctioning them things off and trying to raise some good money.
Thank you. In addition, this Sunday you will have a special guest, an honorary race official for the Food City 500, Peyton Manning. Can you just tell us a little bit about your relationship with him and what you might have planned?
Yeah, I don't know what we got planned. I'm just going to do my thing, what I always do, and hopefully he has a fun time at the race this weekend. I think he gets to come hang out on the pit box if that's what he wants to do throughout the weekend, throughout the race. And I'm excited to have anyone to have anyone as a guest at the race weekends to see what kind of impact that this sport gives them. So it'll be interesting more for me to have an opportunity to talk to him afterwards to see what he thought about all that. But especially an athlete and a guy like him that's seen so much and has learned so much, it'd be interesting his take on our sport. So hopefully we get the opportunity down the road to talk about it, and I've had the chance to spend time with him in the past. One particular time, because of our friendship that we both have with Kenny Chesney, we both ran into each other at a concert and got to drink a couple beers together, so that was pretty cool. And he's also my teammate with the Nationwide deal, and he does a great job as a spokesman, and we've had the opportunity to talk on the phone a few times through that relationship, which has been pretty special for me. But he's well respected and with what he's done on the field, and I'm sure he's going to have a lot of people clamoring to get an opportunity to talk to him and speak with him and shake his hand on Sunday when he comes to the race.
We'll now open it up for questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand, state your name and affiliation. We'll get a microphone to you. We'll start here in the middle with Chris Knight and then go over to the right to Dustin.
I can hear you.
Trends.com. Dale, you're not running the NASCAR Xfinity Series Dash for Cash race this weekend, but next weekend at Richmond you are. How much will you pay attention to the heat races, knowing that you're going to be running next weekend?
I watch them, yeah, just like everybody else is going to watch them for the first time. I think everybody's excited to see if anything odd happens or if they bring a new twist to the sport that we aren't anticipating. So I'm looking forward to Saturday or tomorrow and seeing how that goes. And you just, as a race car driver, it's not really an unknown. You just get in there and you go and run the best you can run and try not to wreck. Just the same thing you do in every other race. You try to finish as good as you can, and that's what I'll do when we run at Saturday at Richmond. But I don't know what to expect, and I don't expect a whole lot. We'll just, so hopefully they get through there without any damage, and we start the main event with the fenders on it and good opportunity to try to win.
Okay, we'll go to Dustin and then Claire.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. You've seen a teammate, in his final race have a chance for the championship last year. You're going to be with Peyton, who ended his career in a memorable way, and just this week, Kobe Bryant, while it wasn't the best of seasons, ended his career on a memorable night. You likely will get the opportunity to choose when your last race will be. When you see what some of these guys have done, what does it mean, and how important is it to have that lasting image? Because there are a lot of drivers, as you well know, in this sport that never knew when their last race was, never had that success, and kind of faded away. You may not. You may be one of the ones that don't have that, have a more memorable finish.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you get that memorable moment on that last effort, that last race, and whatever it is, if you get that moment, it's a definite plus. But I don't think that people are gonna, 10 years from now, are gonna remember the last game where Kobe put 60 points up. People are gonna remember the championships. They're gonna compare him to other people that won championships. You got a lot of guys in boxing. Sugar Ray Leonard, I believe, lost his last 2 matches, but nobody remembers that. They think about the championships that he won and the matches that he had with Hagler and so forth. If you're a boxing fan, those are the things that you concentrate on when you think about the greats. A lot of the, Ali didn't have the best last few fights, but people don't even really remember that. So I don't know if it's critical that you have that great last race, or go out on top. I mean, it's awesome if you can. A lot of guys love it so much that they don't know how to go out when maybe they should, or maybe they financially can't and have to keep competing. Maybe it's good for them to continue to compete to support their family. So I hope, I've always said, I hope I get to make the choice on how I want to end my career, and hopefully it's decided for me. And when that time comes, I'll handle it however I need to handle it and run as hard as I can run. As long as I'm in good cars, I'll have a great shot at it. I don't see how my ability is going to wane and not give me that opportunity that Jeff had, or as long as I'm in Hendrick stuff till the end of my career, I'm going to have a shot at doing well. So hopefully that's the choice I get to make, like you say.
Next question from Claire, and then we'll go over to Stan.
Claire Belang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. I did a segment last night on pit stops and down to 10+ seconds, and not putting all the lug nuts on. Drivers feeling different on vibrations. Some of them don't pay a lot of attention. Some are really spooked by it and come in early. Can you talk about your philosophy on that? And you as a driver even pay that much attention to how many lugs they have on?
Shit, man, hell no. I don't want to know. It's freaky, man. For me, I'm one of the guys who's freaked out by it. I wish I could not care when the wheels are shaking, but you do. I've had a few come off, and it never ends well. And so I don't want any to come off, And I want to, when we have a loose wheel, we lose a lap. A lot of track time, we spend a lot of time trying to get back on the lead lap in these races where we have those loose wheels, and it just really delays the ability to run good, and can hinder the results of the races. But from the seat of the car, when I have a loose wheel, I get really upset about it. I mean, it's in the ones that I've had, they tend to continue to shake worse and worse and worse, and that tells you that it's working its way off the car. And there's no way to know when that thing's going to come off, or until it does. I've had wheels that I thought weren't that bad that came off the car, and then I've had wheels that shook like crazy that I never would have thought would have made it to the next pit stop. So it's just hard. There's no way. History. If you have a lot of wheels that are loose in your career, there's no real way to understand exactly what you're dealing with when it happens. And you don't know whether they tried to put 5 on and only got 4, or they tried to put 4 on and only got 3, or if they only got 1. You don't know. But it freaks me out. And I was blown away that NASCAR quit officiating that aspect. I could not believe that was the choice that they made, but that's the world we live in. So there's not enough officials today to revert. So it's a knot that can't be retied, and we'll just have to try to do the best we can as drivers, not to end up in the fence.
Okay, Ms. Stan?
Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. Dale, what's the one question you have yet to ask Peyton Manning that you really would love to ask? And what's the one thing you'd really like to tell him that he hasn't asked you yet?
I don't know. I haven't really thought that much about it. We're not that good of friends. Shoot. I don't know. What's he think about the Redskins would be a question I'd like to ask him. Why did he never play for them? I think the question will be after he, it'd be fun to get 5 minutes with him after the race weekend to see what he thought about our sport. I'm sure he's seen it and tuned in and maybe been to a race or two we don't know about, but this is Bristol, so it'd be awesome to hear what he thinks about our race at Bristol. And I'm very proud of this event and tell people all the time to come get tickets and watch this race, and this is where you need to go if you want to get hooked. And so I'm interested in really what he thinks about our race after we're done here, and maybe I'll get the opportunity to get that information from him.
Okay, we'll take a question here in the back and then come up to the front.
Casey Getz, WCYB. Dale, are you this week, Bristol Motor Speedway, they're going to sell your banana mayonnaise sandwiches, I think give some proceeds to charity. Can you talk about, are you surprised how much this took off when you posted that picture last week?
Yeah, we're still open for donations at DaleJuniorSandwich.com, and we're up to $45,000 from the fans. We got another additional $50 from Hellman's and myself, so that's $145,000 to Blessings in a Backpack. And it's awesome that tracks are participating and anyone donating however they want to donate. That's a great thing. It was a lot of people. I guess it's important to say that the whole thing was completely organic. I was sitting there bored with little time on my hands in between taking some pictures at a Hellman's photo shoot, and they always have me make this sandwich at the photo shoots, and it was laying there. It was a prop. They were sort of preparing for a picture, and I took a picture of it and tweeted it. I had no idea that was going to take off like it did. But the thing is like 25% of the country knew exactly what I was talking about, and the rest were completely disgusted. And so it got a lot of attention, and I think the disgust really is what drove the tweet viral. But it had everybody's attention. So we thought, I called Mike Davis and I said, it just seems silly to let this fizzle out and not seize this opportunity to do something good. And we do these JRM 360s every week, and he's always having a hard time and fussing about not being able to come up with some good ideas. So we thought we could make one in 24 hours about this sandwich and raise some money for one of the charities, one of the organizations that we work with. We've worked with Blessings in a Backpack for several years now. So we're always challenged to try to increase what we're doing in our foundation year after year and find new ways and new initiatives. And this was like on a silver platter. It's like, let's just do this and see, and hopefully, it's going to work. And the response from the fans as far as donations has been amazing. And also you have things like this where the tracks are doing their own thing, and it's helping people. So it's been an amazing thing. I'm super glad that we have the resources at Junior Motorsports to make these things happen. So a lot of props to Mike Davis and Kaylin at our foundation. Kaylin's my niece. She runs the foundation. And so it's a good thing. It's something we can be very excited about and very happy about.
Next question over here on your far right, and then we have time for one more in the back.
Jeff Birchville, John C. Press. Speaking of your tweets, you were talking about when you were a kid begging to come to Bristol. What is it about this place you love? And then also, what's your impressions of Colossus TV here?
Yeah, that thing's scary. Hopefully it don't come off the cable. We've seen the cables have some issues in the past, some of these tracks. I know the fans will love that. They'll really love the opportunity to see the videos there. But I mean, there's not a bad seat in this racetrack. So I don't know that people are going to be taking their eyes off the actual action on the track too much to view the screens. As a kid, I loved coming here because we would just run from one end of the track to the other, getting into whatever we could get into. And they used to park the Comfort Coach conversion vans in the corners. All the drivers would park theirs in the corners, and we'd just climb up on the back of them and watch practice. And you were literally 30 feet from the cars when they were going by. And in the race, they would crash and roll down the banking feet from the bus. And it was just the coolest thing as a kid to be able to be that close to the action and see the drivers in there working and turning the wheel and watch the cars literally work as they go through the corner and how the cars were handling. It was so much fun having that kind of a vantage point, and this place really provides that to anybody who comes here. The seats here and the vantage point from any seat in the house is so good. The action is always constant throughout the race. So I enjoy it. I enjoyed it, and even though the track has changed and we run the top instead of the bottom, to me it's still a very intense experience inside the car, and as a fan, I would enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it in the past because the race is very intense.
Okay, we'll take our final question in the back.
Kyle Magda, Race Chaser Online over here. I have a two-parter for you. Number one, Peyton said at the end of the Super Bowl that he's going to go home and drink a lot of Budweiser. And I know you have your line of Dale's Pale Ale, but what I'm wondering is what kind of beer does Dale Jr. drink?
Well, we got some Dale's Pale Ale. They're a partner at the Junior Motorsports race team. Regan's going to be racing with them on the car in a couple of weeks, but I got a lot of beer in the cooler, and I'm not particular, so it's I don't have a brand that I stick with traditionally, but the Dale's Pale Ale's been a great partner of ours, and they got a lot of different brands in their wheelhouse, and the Pale Ale, it's new, but it's something I wasn't drinking for all these years, but I'm acquiring a taste for it.
And are you going to let Peyton try one of those banana mayo sandwiches when he comes here Sunday?
Chances are that he won't be too interested in that, but he can donate at dalejuniorsandwich.com like all the rest. Thank you, guys. Have a good week.
Tyler.